Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome to my video guide for 8's character event. This is the Power of Tranquility, the Chaos fight. Without further ado, let's start this video. Now as always, we'll start this off with the boss's abilities, weaknesses, resistances, and the elements that it can absorb. The boss this time around is called Blank Clack, and it is weak to the holy and dark elements and does not have any resistances. It doesn't have any elements that it can absorb as well. As for its abilities, it has Arrow, which is a Wind Magic Brave attack, Group Arrow, which is a Group Wind Magic Brave attack, Thundaga, which is a Thunder Magic Brave attack, Group Thundaga, which is a Group Thunder Magic Brave attack, Trio Head, which is basically it recovers itself from its break status and will do a melee HP attack, Trifactor, which is a Fire Ice Thunder Magic Brave attack, Tailbeat, which is a Group Melee Brave attack, which also increases its Brave and inflicts a Max Brave down. Next is Triple, which basically restores its Brave each turn and raises its speed and max Brave. However, it does lower its defense. It now will begin to act 3 times in a row, basically using 3 abilities in one turn. Next is Mystic Roar, basically increasing its Brave. And next is Sacred Bite, which is a melee Brave attack, and again increases its own Brave with this one. Next is Light Ray, recovers itself from the break status and will do a Magic Brave attack plus HP attack, and this can also delay the target by 1 turn. Next is Triple Annul, basically canceling the triple status, and we do have a few texts that you will see. The first one is Intimidating This Way, basically raising all its stats, and then the next one is Further Intimidating This Way, which again even further raises its stats. And of course it is immune to a few debuffs as well. It is immune to the Poison Sap, Initial Brave Down, and the Paralyze debuff. Okay, now let's talk about some general tips and guide. Now the first one is to save about 60 to 70% of your abilities for the final wave. Now even though this is only a 2-wave fight, I do highly recommend saving those abilities for the last boss, because you're gonna need a lot of those abilities to either shave or prevent the boss from gaining a lot of Brave. So I do highly recommend just saving about 60 to 70% of your abilities for the last boss. Next is to bring in the boosted characters, of course. We do have 8 and King as the 2 main ones that are featured in this particular event, and of course Golbez is the Lost Chapter that is also featured as being a boosted character for this particular event. If you don't have any of these characters, there are a lot to choose from. I do highly recommend using Warrior of Light, Ferris, Tifa, Kryle, Emperor, Sephiroth, Celeste, Agrius, Bartz, Yuffie, Ultimisia, Setzer, Kuja, Sarah, or even Garland. As for the healers plus Brave Battery options, you do have an option between Charlotta, Rosa, Rem, Eiko, Yuna, and of course Ishtola. And for the summon, I don't really have any preference for this particular one, but I do like Shiva the most out of all these summons, so I usually just use Shiva, but you can definitely use Ifrit, Ramu, and of course the brother summon. I don't really like Leviathan, so you can take him there if you really want to. Now let's talk about the general strategies that I have implemented or noticed during this fight. Let's start off with the friend support. I do highly recommend a couple of characters here. If you're going for a full-blown attack, Golbez is gonna be the best one out of everyone here. Setzer is for safety. Emperor again is more damage and safety at the same time. And Agrius is still pretty useful if you can time those silences. And now it's very difficult to do, but you can definitely still use her. She's probably the least reliable friend support for this particular fight. Now the next strategy that you may want to implement is using the delay, or again the silence, as your best friends. Delay is probably the most useful one here. Like I said earlier, silence is kind of hard to predict when the boss is actually going for a magic brave attack, so delay is the best one to use since the boss is immune to paralyze in this fight. The next one is to pay attention to the turn order. Do not let the bosses, even the first wave, have 2 turns in a row. It will most likely result in a death, and you can also deal with this by delaying, as I mentioned earlier, or you can stall the boss by using your C65 passive abilities, or even using turns that will not count your turn count but does not have any action delay, and then you can re-break the boss, therefore breaking that 2 turns in a row. Now the next part that I want to talk about is how to deal with the boss's high brave. There are different ways to deal with this. The first one is to reduce the incoming damage with shields, or even applying attack down debuffs, or especially applying unique debuffs that have sap-like effects. Basically, this will affect their brave at the start, reducing it down to 0 as much as you can actually. And of course, you know, whatever they can deal with you, that is the brave that they're going to get. So for example, using like Sarah, Ultimisia, or even Charlotta's unique debuffs are well worth trying in this particular fight. Now you can also use abilities that will trigger before or after the boss, just like traps or Faris's EX effect, or using gravity attacks as well to reduce the amount of high brave that you are going to be taking. So Bartz and Ultimisia are probably the best choice when it comes to gravity based attacks. But as for traps, we all know Emperor is the best at that. But you can definitely bring Vanille as well, or like I said, Faris's EX. Vanille, I didn't actually put her in the list, but you can use her. It's not really the greatest trap, but you know what? It's there. It can help you. Now the final one here is to actually bring a healer that can actually revive. So Ishtola and Rosa are probably the best ones that we have right now. So highly suggest bringing either one of these two. But obviously you don't really have to, but it is a safety feature that if you are struggling with this fight. Okay, so now let's talk about some possible party compositions, and the first one is going to be the boosted team, 8 King and Golbez with Golbez support and Shiva for the summon. Basically, this is quite a big damage coming from these 3, and of course, if the boss does target 8, he can actually counter and do more HP damage, reducing the amount of turns that you actually end up using. You can also swap the friend support for Setzer if you really want more of a safer run. You can time this by, you know, using Setzer when the boss is actually in its triple status. Now, next team that you are seeing right here is the one in the video. It is Golbez Ishtola with an Emperor support and Shiva for the summon. Basically, Golbez is here for the big damage, basically front up damage. Ishtola is there for the delays and of course the revives in just in case, and of course she can actually survive the HP hit if her HP is more than 50%, I think, on top of my head. So yeah, really great to tank those big HP damage. And of course Emperor for shaving the brave post the boss's turns with his traps. Okay, so the next one here is Tifa, Ishtola, and Charlotta with a Setzer support and Shiva for the summon. Tifa is here for the big damage and the occasional delays, and having 2 support type characters will definitely ensure that her brave is well topped up, so you can take advantage of just using her HP attack plus from time to time. Y'shtola for further delays and of course heals and revives. Charlotta with her unique debuff to sap the boss's brave is actually really great here as well. And of course, let's not forget that her EX increases the amount of HP damage that you deal. And as for the final team that I would highly suggest is going to be Golbez, Rosa, and Warrior of Light with a Setzer support and Shiva for the summon. Again, Golbez is just here for the big frontal, big damage. Rosa for auto revives and of course heals. She's definitely going to be helpful. Warrior of Light for the shields and to protect you from those massive incoming damage. And hopefully you don't get broken. Anyway guys, I think we are towards the end of this video, and of course I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this fight. In all honesty, I found this fight pretty easy, I must say. Only because, again, I am equipped into fighting this fight. I have Golbez 3-3, I didn't have 8 or King, but we do have a lot of different characters now that we can use. So if you have Y'shtola or Rosa, it definitely makes it a much safer run, and of course having a tank makes that so much safer. The only problem here is basically the amount of turn count that is available to us. So it's not over 100, I do believe it's only 95 turns. So you do have to play around with a team that can actually save you those turn counts. Like I said, Y'shtola with her EX ability basically does not add a turn count. You can use Ultimisia as well. She has both. She's the trifecta for this fight, to be completely honest with you. She has the gravity attacks, she has the sap-like debuff, and she saves you those turn counts as well with her EX ability. So I highly suggest if you have Ultimisia, you can use her as well. I know I didn't put her in the possible party compositions, but she is definitely a trifecta when it comes to this fight. See what I did there? Because the boss has a trifecta attack, Ultimisia has the trifecta. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. The only reason why I don't really put Ultimisia a lot anymore in my party compositions is because, yeah, she is quite of a cheese character, isn't she? I mean, Emperor is considered that as well, but at least he doesn't save you as much turns as Ultimisia, at least in my own personal opinion. But either way, both of them are very good characters. So yeah, if you're struggling, just bring Ultimisia. She covers you on 3 grounds that, you know, that will make this fight so much difficult if you don't have the amount of characters that other people have. Anyway guys, I think I'll leave the video right here, but before I go, a couple of announcements. I am going to be starting my night shift, and I will be going through night shift for 2 weeks. So starting next week, do expect the videos to be delayed when it comes to even, I would say, like video guides. Those are definitely going to be late. I'll try and make sure that my Should You Pull videos comes out before the actual event. I'll try doing those on my off days. I think next week it's just going to be the Ignis and Zack banner, because we have no idea what's coming up with Arnea's banner, so I can't really make a video of that. So I think, yeah, next week at least the Should You Pull video should be up on time. However, video guides will be delayed. I thought I'd just let you guys know about that as well. And the following week, with Renoa's Lost Chapter, I do believe everything should be okay time-wise. So yeah, I thought I'd just let you guys know. Anyway guys, please remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help my channel to grow. For those people who watch this video and haven't subscribed, to hit that subscribe button. And of course, leaving a like on this video really helps this video with the YouTube algorithm and really helps my channel, and make sure this video gets spread around to other players as well who are struggling and may need a bit of a hand in, you know, fighting this particular fight. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well and on Facebook. Those are my social media. You can add me there at Munchkins Gaming. Follow me. And if you want to talk about Dissidia, Opera Omnia, or any other video games, you're more than welcome to hit me up there, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, guys, this is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.